Hi, I'm Rich Visotcky, Professional Scrum Trainer and Course Steward for your Professional Scrum Foundations class. Have you ever had a time where you started on a job and you thought you knew exactly what you were going to be doing, and on day one you were told, no one has any clue what's going on here, you're going to have to figure that out? Yeah, that happened to me once at a client, and I'd like to tell you about how I applied Scrum in this situation in order to move through the problem and actually go and get to some real value in the real world. I was working with a client where I came up to go and help out with some process improvement items, just auditing a workflow, helping to look for gaps, trying to find things there. And when I come up, I found out there was a bunch of different people that had a bunch of different ideas on what this work should be, little things they wanted to get in, you know how stakeholders are, they all want their own kind of thing going on. So I started off with a product owner, and just a product owner, and we had to go and build a team to figure out what could we do. The problem that we were looking at was around onboarding of clients into a major bank for global wealth management and dealing with clients and counterparties, exchanges of large sums of money across the whole globe. And the interesting thing in this situation was they thought there was a big problem with just the onboarding, how people come in, because they didn't want to be handing out money to warlords, in third world countries, or funding gangsters and things like that. That was an important part, and they thought that the onboarding process should be checked there from a value perspective. They have this know your client anti-money laundering process that goes on that's rather costly. It's about $60,000 just to get a client in, and around $30,000 a year just to maintain that client information. So a highly costly process that they thought, we have to figure out some way to just go and make this a little bit more efficient, get some more value in here. Because there was a lot of clients that were going to be coming up for review and always new ones coming in. So I started talking with the product owner and trying to think, like, what is the real value that you're looking at here? What could be going on? And is it really just an onboarding problem, or is it more of a client lifecycle management problem, right? On how we deal with clients from onboarding to maintenance to even offboarding, right? And what could be going on there. And he thought that that was kind of interesting. So he assembled a team of people that worked in all these different spots, people who were involved with gathering this information, processing it, and putting it on their stores. People who were actually going and talking with the clients, talking with the bankers and the advisors who are getting people in, others including the CFO of this area around what kind of their goals are for managing this. And we started building this whole team of people, most of which actually didn't really build software. That's kind of the interesting thing about this. There's some software involved at various points, but we were really also looking at process and how do we build out better processes that manage this. Well, after the team got assembled and the product owner started talking to everyone, we realized that there was actually a lot of value that might have been able to be found in offboarding people, because there was a thought that there might have been a lot of inactive clients that the bank was about to start wasting a lot of money processing their data for when they're not actually doing anything with the bank. And should we be offboarding them instead rather than spending that money? And so built our Scrum team. Took them through the Professional Scrum Foundations course. 2 days later, we started sprinting. And we decided to go with 1 week sprints because it's brand new for them. They wanted to inspect and adapt frequently because they didn't know what they were doing, and they wanted to see, could they get on the right track sooner? A lot of risk in that situation. So we started this 1 week sprint, and they had a goal of just identifying inactive clients and providing a reusable way to find those inactive clients in the future for potential offboarding. Gathered a bunch of people together, started talking about what kind of processes could go along with this to find this information and to make it a repeatable process. In our first sprint review, 1 week in, we went and showed our results to our stakeholders, again, including the CFO and a bunch of other directors and high-level executives from other branches that tied into this. And the findings were such that they found over 4,000 inactive clients existing in the system, and a potential savings of over $176 million just by going and removing those clients. So you want to talk about really driving towards, biggest bang for your buck, most value per sprint. This is about one of the best opportunities that I've ever seen there. So they've iterated on that process since then. They're still going and running a Scrum team where they've been focused on ways to adapt and work with identifying clients in different kinds of ways, dealing with that, moving on towards client onboarding and other parts of the process. But again, we got together a cross-functional team, a product owner who really understood the mission, me working as a Scrum Master for them for a while, and eventually another Scrum Master who helped them with their process and kept them focused on what's the real value that we could provide here to the bank. So I hope that's a story that maybe inspires you to go out and see where can you try Scrum, what can you do, how can you add value by going just practicing Scrum, even in as short of a time as 1 week, right? 1 week can produce $176 million of value for you. So give Scrum a try. It could work for you. Thanks.